Good evening and welcome to the Daily Bible News. I am Kishford Frank with your major news story for this evening. He goes by the name Saul to many people, and he is as tough as they come on enforcing the law in the Roman province. And it seems his pet peeve is with the likes of those who go by the name Christian, followers of Jesus Christ. Now, shortly after the resurrection of Jesus, this Saul was the man to be feared the most by local Christians, as he will do just about anything to stop them. Well, that's until a mind-blowing encounter he has while on his way to a major raid in Damascus, where he endeavored to crack down on the growing Christian church. This was considered a threat to the Roman influence and power, as well as to the Jewish hierarchy. I'll give you the details in just a moment, but first, remember to subscribe to our channel so that you can get our videos when they're uploaded. We welcome your comments, and we ask you to share with your friends if you think that this can be helpful to someone. He was the man who served as the overseer at the public execution of one Stephen, stoned to death for holding true to his faith in Jesus. Please be warned that some images may be disturbing. After standing before the council of high priests and other leaders, it was here that Stephen was dragged by the angry mob to take what would be his final breath.
Lord, lay not this sin to their charge.
The man behind it all, Saul of Tarsus. He prided himself in ridding the world of people like Stephen. Since then, Saul has served the interest of the Roman government and the Jewish clergy in persecuting and prosecuting hundreds, if not thousands more, searching them out wherever they may be. But at the height of his career, and on what seemed an unstoppable quest to bring down the fast-growing Christian movement, Saul has an encounter that will change him forever.
Saul, why persecutest thou me?
Who art thou, Lord?
I am Jesus, whom thou persecutest. It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks.
You cannot kick against the pricks. In short, you cannot fight against God and win. Yet, for someone who opposed the gospel so vehemently, instead of striking him dead, God gave him another chance to turn around. This brings us to our DBN viewer question for this evening. We ask, do you think that everyone deserves forgiveness and a second chance, regardless to what they've done? Give us your response in the comments section and relate to other comments as well. We would be happy to give you feedback on whatever you share. Now, that is no ordinary encounter, I can tell you that. Just remember that Saul had the approval from the authorities to go on this mission. He had the warrant in his hand. But even when he had man's authority, here it is clear we see who has ultimate and supreme authority. And Saul was wise enough to know whose authority he should follow. He had this question for his new boss, Jesus.
Lord, what wilt thou have me to do?
Arise, and go into the city, and it shall be told thee what thou must do.
A part of the beauty of this entire experience that reveals full orchestration from the divine hand is that while Jesus was meeting with his newfound soldier, Saul, he was also prepping one of his leaders named Ananias to welcome Saul and give him his orientation into his new career and new life on the winning team. Now, Ananias was all too familiar with just how notorious a man Saul was. And as can be expected, he had his concerns, even his fears, with his assignment. He told God, quote, "I have heard many reports about this man and how much evil he has done to your people at Jerusalem." End quote. Well, that's until God reassured him that this was now a new man.
And here he hath authority from the chief priest to bind all that call on thy name.
Go thy way, for he is a chosen vessel unto me, to bear my name before the Gentiles and kings and the children of Israel. For I will shew him how great things he must suffer for my name's sake.
Saul remained blind for 3 days, and neither did he eat during this time, until God used Ananias to restore his sight. Saul was later baptized according to the teachings of Scripture and had his name changed from Saul to Paul. Well, well, well. Would you have imagined it? The man who made a name for himself, relentlessly tearing apart the church Christian by Christian, is made to be one of the leading spokesmen for the very movement he spent years trying to destroy. Talk about transformation, and talk about the power of Jesus. I can tell you that there are millions more like Saul, now Paul. They may not have had a name change on their birth certificate, but a name change just the same, as they now go by the name Christian, disciples of Christ. Now that's good news. It says that whoever you are, or whatever you've done, you too can be transformed by the power of Jesus Christ. I have been transformed. What about you? Well, that's our story for this evening. Remember, you can catch up with more news stories on the Daily Bible News Network. Until next time, I am Kishford Frank saying good night and God bless.